Fake health foods. Spinach, not healthy for you, full of oxalates. Oxalates are well known to cause kidney stones, joint pain, gut issues.
No. Just a few seconds in and let's stop the video already here. He makes the statement that oxalates in spinach cause kidney stones. I won't address all his other claims because many other experts have already addressed those claims, so let's focus in this video solely on oxalates. Do oxalate in your diet, so dietary oxalate, cause kidney stones? I said dietary oxalates on purpose because only 50% of the urinary oxalates, so the oxalates that we excrete from the body, is of food origin. The remaining 50% of the other oxalates are created within our bodies. That's already really crucial and important information. Having said that, let's have a look at which dietary pattern is associated with an increased risk for kidney stones and which dietary pattern is associated with a decreased risk for kidney stones. And for that, let's have a look at a study published in 2020 by Ferraro and colleagues. Ferraro and colleagues wanted to see whether there's some association between dietary factors and kidney stones. What the authors also pointed out is that kidney stones are on the rise worldwide, and it's affecting both women and men alike. The most frequent type of kidney stones that these people encounter is the oxalate and calcium kidney stones. 75% alone of the kidney stone cases are due to oxalate and calcium stones. A really important marker for kidney stones is urinary excretion. Depending what you excrete with your urine, you're either at a higher risk or at a lower risk for getting kidney stones, as the following graph is suggesting. One of the biggest contributors of kidney stone formation is urinary saturation. Not drinking enough will make your urine more saturated. The promoters of creating kidney stones are high urinary excretion of calcium, oxalate, and urate. The inhibitors of creating kidney stones are high urinary excretions of citrate, potassium, and magnesium. The researchers did a fabulous job, in my opinion, to create also the following graph, which illustrates certain risk markers a little bit better. Some dietary factors that should be taken into considerations are low fluid, calcium, and fruit intake, and higher intake of sodium, meat, something Paul conveniently left out, and here comes the big highlight, dietary oxalate. Although Paul conveniently left out that meat intake will also put you at a higher risk for kidney stones, was he right that dietary oxalate can increase your risk? Not so fast. The guidelines in kidney stone prevention don't even mention oxalates, as we can see as follows. What is being mentioned commonly and generally in guidelines is increased fluid intake, balanced calcium intake, reduced dietary intake of sodium and animal proteins, and maintaining a healthy body mass index, and increasing intake of vegetables and fibers. Hold on, why don't the researchers mention oxalates? There's a reason. And that reason comes with randomized control trials that the researchers mention in this study as well. In this randomized control trial, 120 men were recruited, and they were either assigned to a normal calcium diet, low in salt and low in animal proteins. The calcium intake here was 1,200 milligrams per day, or were assigned to the low calcium diet of around 400 milligrams per day. The normal calcium diet group demonstrated a reduction in kidney stone risk of approximately around 50% after 5 years, compared to the low calcium diet group. The researchers also saw that urinary oxalate excretion, as a reminder, that's a risk marker, was higher in patients in the low calcium group and thus lower in the normal calcium group, that also ate a lower amount of animal proteins. Why does calcium matter? That's explained with the relationship between oxalates and calcium. They really like each other. They are attracted to one and another, and thus they bind together. If you eat a meal that consists of both calcium and oxalates, there's a high chance that calcium binds to free oxalates. Once calcium is bound to oxalate, the oxalates cannot get absorbed in the small intestine. In other words, you poop out the oxalates. This is yet another reason why I tell my clients and why I tell all of you guys that have been following me to increase your calcium intake. Focus on getting 1,000 or 1,200 milligrams of calcium in per day. But this was not all the news that the researchers mentioned that Paul won't really like. The researchers went on to say that a DASH-style diet has the lowest risk of kidney stones in 3 large observational studies. Those consuming a high amount of fruits and vegetables, in addition to low-fat dairy products, is capable of lowering the risk of stone events by up to 45%. And in case you're wondering how a DASH diet looks like, there you go. It's emphasizing the consumption of vegetable fruits, whole grains, fat-free low-fat dairy products, fish, poultry, beans, nuts, and vegetable oils. Yes, them seed oils. While de-emphasizing fatty meats, full-fat dairy, sugar-sweetened beverage, sweets, and high sodium intake. High sodium intake is above 2,300 milligrams per day, or in other words, around 5 to 6 grams of salt per day. So yes, yet again, another reason to eat a plant-dominant whole food diet, which Paul, by the way, is slowly shifting more and more into.
Look at that, animal-based pasta with 0 grains. This is what I eat instead of pasta on an animal-based diet. Let me show you how to make it. Did you know that squash is a fruit? This is one of my favorite ones, it's spaghetti squash. I'm gonna show you how I cook it. I preheated the oven to 400 degrees. It's like animal-based spaghetti.
According to all the evidence we have today, should you avoid oxalate-rich foods? No. But that also doesn't necessarily mean that you have to consume 500 grams of spinach alongside 100 grams of almonds. Eat these foods in quote-unquote moderations and don't forget about the calcium intake and to drink enough water or other fluids, such as orange juice, for example, which has also been associated with a decreased risk. What are your thoughts about this topic? Feel free to let me know in the comment section. Thanks for watching, and I'll see you during my next video.